Hello, welcome back to the Kings of Horror.
Every day this month, Bibbs here and I are looking at the works of Stephen King on the big screen, and we'll be reviewing them.
Today, we're looking at one of my favorite Stephen King movies, The Dead Zone. Christopher Walken stars...
No, stop that. Start over. No.
Christopher Walken stars as Johnny Smith, an English teacher who falls into a coma and wakes up with psychic powers that get him into a whole heap of trouble, involving serial killers, endangered children, more endangered children, and a politician who really shouldn't become president. The Dead Zone plays a bit more like a drama than a lot of other Stephen King movies. It's just a drama about a guy who happens to have psychic powers, and on that level, I think it works really great. Christopher Walken gives a really human, really tortured performance as a guy who has powers he doesn't want. Cronenberg's photography is really stark and white and empty and spooky. And the story is a little episodic, but I actually think that contributes to the film's rich tapestry. I think The Dead Zone makes the most of its concept.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on all those points. I think that The Dead Zone is surprisingly emotional.
Yeah.
There's a great emotional thread going through this whole thing between Johnny Smith and his would-be girlfriend and would-be wife, Sarah. And it is such a heartbreaker, man. I mean, and they get you in the first 20 minutes.
Because he's in a coma for like 5-6 years.
5 years.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And then she's moved on, she's gotten married, she's had kids.
And they'll still make bookcases. They'll make bookcases all day long.
Yes. That's very true. Very cute.
But it really, they turn this into a pretty good television series, and you can really tell because it's a good setup for a lot of different stories.
This is like a terrific pilot. You know, it's a great way to set up a character, set up the emotional angst of him. I mean, obviously we know where Johnny Smith goes in this film.
Yes.
However, you could see why they turned it into a TV show.
Yeah, absolutely. They take every single thing you could do with a really good idea. A guy who touches someone, you're going to die tomorrow. And then make the most of that. Try to find a way to make it really dramatic. And when it cuts to like the last act, when he has the ultimate moral decision to make, and he asks the doctor if you could go back in time and kill Hitler, the guy says essentially, yes, I'd fucking kill Hitler. It's a really unexpected, but it's really real, and it's about like these really difficult decisions we have to make about our own lives and the lives of the people around us.
I agree. I think the writing is really tight. I think that it's very real. It comes from a very real place. I mean, Johnny is at these moral dilemmas every step of the way. Should he help the sheriff with this investigation? Should he not?
Yeah.
And I like the little episodes. The episodes within themselves work. The Johnny going on the case of the serial killer is very Cronenberg-esque.
Really.
And the way that Cronenberg shoots it, you can tell that Cronenberg is behind the camera going, this is where I get to put a little bit of me in here.
Yeah.
But it's also cool because you get to see so many Cronenbergian actors as well.
And you get to see it drive Christopher Walken's character forward. You get to see how he evolves over time. And the ending, I got to say, I think is one of the great Stephen King endings, although there's a bit of ADR. It's the last line in the movie that feels like a little false.
Rewatching, we wanted to go on, mention what it was?
Oh, no, I don't want to ruin it.
Okay, cool.
It's a little saccharine and sappy,
yes.
And I think it lets him off the hook, and I think it's a little, it plays unreal compared to the rest of the film.
I know, rewatching The Dead Zone recently, I noticed that a lot of 80s films end with dead guys and the women they love weeping over them. I noticed that this was a very strange theme, and this movie plays into it. Not to say, that's not a spoiler, I'm not trying to ruin anything.
Yeah, we won't say who dies.
Yeah. But yeah, I think The Dead Zone is fantastic.
Yeah, I give The Dead Zone 4 Kings. I think it's a really dramatic, intelligent, wonderful film. I think it holds up extremely well. I think it's one of Christopher Walken's best performances.
I think The Dead Zone, you have to kind of commit to it if you're going to sit down and watch it. It's got a kind of a sleepy atmosphere to it. It's got its own pace to it. For that reason alone, I would bump it down from 4 Kings to 3.5 out of 5 Kings.
All right, well, that's it for The Dead Zone. Come back tomorrow when Kings of Horror will get your motor running with Christine.
Shitters of the world are going to pay, Bibbs.